Hello everyone, and welcome to Gerunds. In this video, I'll explain what a gerund is, and then I'll discuss some of the common ways that we use them in English. So, what is a gerund? Well, a gerund is usually considered to be a noun, but they can also act as verbal nouns in some situations. I know that this is a little advanced, but don't worry. I won't go too deep into this right now. I'll save that for another video. Now, gerunds are formed from the base form of a verb, and they will always contain the ending ing. So if we look at the example, the base form of the verb here is sing, and we just add ing to the base form and we get our gerund singing. And then let's use it. Okay, in the sentence, singing makes her happy. In this sentence, the gerund singing is not the verb, right? It's acting as a noun, and it's the subject. So let's look at the sentence. We have singing, that's the subject. And how about the verb? The verb is makes. Do you see? So singing is the subject, and makes is the verb. So we can see how we can use a gerund as the subject of a sentence. Now, this can be confusing for beginners because they are used to seeing a verb plus the ing being used as an action verb in the progressive tense like this. Birds are singing in the trees. You see, the subject is birds, and the verb is actually the action verb singing or are singing. Now let's look at some other ways gerunds are used. In the next example, we have, they didn't like my singing. In this sentence, they is the subject, and like is the verb. So we have, they didn't like, what didn't they like? They didn't like my singing. So the direct object in this sentence is the gerund singing. And direct objects usually answer the questions who or what. So when we look at a sentence and we find the subject and the verb, so we say they didn't like who, they didn't like what, they didn't like my singing. So you can see that a gerund can act as the direct object of a sentence too. Let's look at another example. What I love most is singing in the shower. What's the subject in this sentence? Can you find it? If you picked what I love most, then you are correct. And what about the verb? Well, the verb in this sentence is. So we have the subject, which is what I love most, the verb, which is, and then we have our gerund singing. And in this particular case, singing is what we call the subject complement. And it's not actually an object because the subject is not doing anything to the gerund, and the gerund is just giving us more information about the subject. So we can see in this example then that gerunds can also be used as subject complements. Here's another example for you. I heard Amy singing her favorite song. Let's find the subject first, and it is I, and the verb is heard, and the direct object is Amy. Remember, subject, verb, I heard who? I heard what? In this case, I heard who? Amy. And we find our gerund singing, and it's actually the object complement of this sentence. It's giving us information about Amy, about the object, the direct object. So we can see that gerunds can also be object complements. Okay, that's all for this video. There'll be more videos coming up with a lot more information about grammar. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. And remember what I always say, keep practicing. See you next time.